So Barrie, welcome to the Széchenyi Private. I'm very, very pleased that you're here. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name's Barrie I'm from Washington, D.C. And I work for the mayor doing affordable housing for low-income people in the District of Columbia.
Great. And why did you have to come here? What was the reason?
I've had 4 spinal surgeries over the last 5 years. The latest was a posterior fusion of C3 through C7 and had difficulties after the surgery in mobility in my neck. So I've been coming to Budapest for 35 years and visiting the spas here, and didn't really know there was a medical spa. So after taking a few minutes to figure it out, I decided to sign up. And last fall I had a great experience, but I only had 2 weeks to give. And I really needed more time, so I took the last 9 weeks to come back to Széchenyi to see how they could help me in my struggles.
How did you find out about the Széchenyi's medical concept?
Actually by accident.
Okay.
I have a friend of mine who recently broke his hip, and when I said, oh, I really want to go to Széchenyi, he said, oh, maybe you should call the medical spa because the line's at Széchenyi. And I really thought I was just going to skip the tourists, but then when I got here, I realized it was really a well-organized rehabilitation center. So I walked in and was like, okay, this is it. This is going to work. So it made me come back for this 9 weeks that I've spent recently.
Fantastic. And you met the way your experience started, you met with Victoria, who is the head of the medical facility. And then can you tell me a little bit about how you started with
Yes, I just sent her an email. She was so kind as to find out all my experiences that I was going through. I sent all my doctor's notes over, and she organized everything with a complete schedule for the first 2 weeks last October.
Fantastic.
And then when I decided to come back, I had contacted her, I think only maybe a month later, and said, okay, I'm coming in May and June. So she was so kind, I made my entire schedule for 9 weeks in consultation with Dr. Ava, and it's just been a great experience. Along with Gabor's help and the PT and massage therapy, underwater massage and carbon bath, they threw everything at me, and to this day now, I can now move my neck.
Yes, I
and
saw
my
that.
mobility is just, haven't been able to do that in a year and a half, so I'm thrilled. I had a little problem in my hip because I've had a low effusion of L4 through S1, and it was starting to bother me. After like 6 weeks, I've been able to sleep at night. So it's really been fantastic.
That's great to hear. That's really a big improvement.
It's huge. It's life-changing that I couldn't get those same services in America all in one roof.
How can you describe the services you could have received in the US compared to the one you received here?
Well, first of all, it's very difficult in the United States to get any type of water physical therapy because we just don't have the facilities. And most of the time when you do get water therapy, it's in a class setting, which for me really isn't helpful. I really need a one-on-one, and Széchenyi offered that. So it was just so much better than I could receive. On top of it, trying to get 3 or 4 different treatments in one session together is practically impossible in America. In order to schedule that, it would probably take 4 or 5 months in advance in order to get me to go to one facility for 3 or 4 hours a day. So when I did come in October and I came back and my doctor saw so much improvement, he asked me why I came home. So it was an immediate decision to when I could have take the time from work to come back and give full commitment.
It was a no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer.
And how do you schedule it out of work? How can you take so much time off work? That's important.
Well, it's difficult, but in America we have what they call the Family Medical Leave Act, in which employees in the United States can take up to 12 weeks of leave, sometimes paid, sometimes not, but still gives you the flexibility to take the time to care for yourself or a family member. So I was able to take the medical leave in order to be able to come for this long period of time.
And your work didn't mind that?
Well, they mind,
I'm sure.
of course, but legally, they have to give it to her. And my employer, I work for the mayor, we've known each other a long, long time. She's very thankful that I've come. So, it's a benefit no matter what. If you can get this type of cure, because I feel it's a definite cure for me, then it's worth it. Even if I had to lose my job over it, I really think it's worth it. But, Americans know that they have this benefit available to them, so that they could come for an extended period of time if they really needed that much rehabilitation.
That's the key, I think, because if people know that they have this allowance in terms of time and out of their working time, and they know a facility that they can come to, which is affordable, then it's really, really useful.
And it's for Americans and probably Western Europeans, it's very affordable.
Okay.
45 minutes of therapy at George Washington University equals 2 weeks of treatment at Széchenyi.
It's not comparable.
It's not comparable. I think when I figured it out, because I did want to tell the mayor that I'm saving her money through our insurance payments, it would have been $188,000 to get 9 weeks of treatment. So
tell me a little bit about the payment structure. So we have set up the 9 weeks treatment. You paid, and then in the US, how do you claim it on your insurance?
I don't know if they're going to pay it, but I'm definitely going to put together all of the paperwork and payments, and I'll see. I'm fortunate that I have Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO, which is like a golden ticket in America in insurance, and I'm sure they'll pay some of it at the end of the day, but I'll let you know how that works out, just so you can let other Americans know that, even the insurance company will pick up some of it, so that'll be even more helpful.
And what if people only have 2 weeks? What would you say then?
Come for the 2 weeks if that's all you can get, because the 2 weeks is even worth it. My 2 weeks in October is what convinced me to come back for the long term, because I had relief. After 8 days, my hip wasn't bothering me. But Dr. Ava told me, it's gonna come back, Barrie, because I can't perform miracles in 2 weeks.
And you came back.
And I came back, and now I see the miracle did happen. It's like 3 weeks of not waking up in the middle of the night with pain.
Yeah, that must be a huge relief.
I'm a lot stronger through the physical therapy, and it's just pinched me because I think I'm dreaming.
And tell me about your sessions with Gabor. Gabor is a young therapist. He's very, very talented, but he also speaks English. That's very important. How do you rate Gabor's experience in the last 9 weeks?
1 out of 10. He scores a 12 plus.
Okay. That's quite good.
He's very attentive. The communication back and forth, I think, is really important. And that communication with him and Dr. Ava, as treatment went along, I got adjusted to meet my physical need, and he was just outstanding. I've had several physical therapists and massage therapists in America. He's one of the top 3 I've seen. I've lost my other ones to some famous people in America, and I'm very thankful that, Gabor was able to treat me this time again.
You will tell him as well.
Yes, he's a treasure of Széchenyi.
And we will definitely.
Yes, he's very talented and well educated too, which is not what you usually find in America. If you're not in a hospital medical setting and you're trying to do it on your own, which a lot of people attempt to do.
Well, we also very, very much are fond of him.
Yes.
Lastly, what would you say to other Americans that they've never heard about this medical facility in the Széchenyi Bath? They never travel to Europe for an medical facility treatment. Why would they need to come here?
The first thing my family told me was they thought I was crazy, that I was seeing a witch doctor. And I said, no, she's an MD. I think what's important for Americans to understand is that Hungary as a country, their medical certificates have been accepted in the United States for a very long time. They were the only country for a long time in America as we searched to add doctors to our rolls. So that, I think, is number one. When people hear that, that's very important for them to understand that the medical education is, second to none. I think the other thing is you know, if you've never been to Budapest, it's a vacation you should take. It's very affordable for Americans. And then I think the third thing is once you get into the spa and you see the hundreds of years of history, I think you realize that there's something special about it. And along with knowing that the medical expertise is, you know, not substandard and is on American standards, that it's a no-brainer now that between the cost and the experience that you can have and the results that you can get from a facility that can do it all in one place in 3 or 4 hours every day is just amazing. So I would say, if you need the treatment, come here because it's cheaper, you have a great experience, and the Hungarian people are just wonderful people in general, very hospitable. So don't think twice about it.
I think that says it all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Anything I can do to help you guys get more clients and be happy and successful and healthy like me after a few weeks is, you know, wonderful.
That's brilliant. There's no other way to say it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.
I'm sure. Within a year, I'll be back again.